Rachel in the Stars, based on a folktale from England. In a house in the country lived Rachel with her mom and her dad. In the morning she'd get up, it's summertime, play around the house, and after lunch she'd go out through the back door, by the apple tree, through the back gate, go to the top of the hill. From the top of the hill she'd look down and she could see the pond, and she'd race down the hill and jump into the pond, splash around and swim around and splash around and swim around. Ooh! Then she'd get out of the pond and wander over to the stream and start looking for rocks, smooth ones. She loved smooth rocks that could fit right in the palm of her hand. And sometimes she'd keep them, and sometimes she'd just throw them back. And then she'd walk through the tall grass to the edge of the forest, and then on into the forest. And she'd walk until she came to, oh yes, her favorite climbing tree. Ooh, 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 climb it, go ahead, climb it up and up and up. She was a good climber. She'd climb way up high, way up into the top of the tree. And then she'd just sit there and wait for the wind to blow. Because the wind, oh, here it comes. Oh, and it's kind of scary and kind of exciting. And then she heard, Rachel, supper time. So down the tree, bye-bye tree, through the forest, bye-bye forest, through the tall grass, bye-bye tall grass, by the stream, bye-bye stream, by the pond, bye-bye pond, and into the house. What's for supper? Well, mac and cheese. Ooh, I love mac and cheese. After supper, time for a bath, and after a while, time for bed. And Mom and Dad would come in and sing, good night, sleep tight, snug in your bed all night long. Good night, sleep tight, snug in your bed all night long. They'd speak to each other. I think she's asleep. Tiptoe out and go across the landing to their bedroom. Time for bed for them as well. Well, Rachel was not asleep. Rachel still had one other thing she needed to do, and she crept out of bed and went across the room to the window, and she looked up at the stars, and she sang about what she would like to do more than anything in the world. I'd love to touch the stars. I'd love to touch the stars. I'd love to love to love to touch the stars. I'd love to touch the stars. I'd love to touch the stars. I'd love to love to love to touch the stars. And then she went out of her room, across the landing, into her mom and dad's room. Went to her mom's side of the bed. Mom, wake up, wake up, wake up. What is it, Rachel? What? I want to touch the stars tonight. Rachel, you cannot touch the stars now. Go back, go to bed, go back to bed. Well, Rachel did not go back to bed. She went around to the other side of the bed to her dad. Dad, what do you want, Rachel? Dad, I want to touch the stars. Rachel, you cannot touch the stars. Now go to bed and go to sleep. We'll see you in the morning. Now go. Okay. So sadly, she went back across the landing and got into bed, and after a while, she did fall asleep. And the next day was another day. So, time to jump in the pond, swim and splash, and swim and splash. Time to go for some rocks next to the stream. Time to go through the tall grass, into the forest. Climb that, climb that, climb that, climb that tree. Wait for the wind to blow. Wait to hear Rachel, supper time. Down, 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 down. By tree, by forest, by tall grass, by stream, by pond. What's for supper? Cheeseburgers. Yummy. Great, 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 great. And after that, bath time, and they played a game that night. And then bedtime, and Mom and Dad singing again. Good night, sleep tight, snug in your bed all night long. Good night, sleep tight, snug in your bed all night long. I think she's asleep. Let's go. Was she asleep? No, 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 no. Rachel still had her song to sing. And once that door closed to her bedroom, she got up and went to the window and sang her song. I'd love to touch the stars. I'd love to touch the stars. I'd love to, love to, love to touch the stars. I'd love to touch the stars. I'd love to touch the stars. Love to, love to, love to touch the stars. Then across the landing, into her Mom and Dad's bedroom. Mom, wake up, wake up. What, Rachel? Tonight, I want to touch the stars. Rachel, you cannot touch the stars. Now go back to bed. Did she go back to bed? No, no, no. She went around to her dad's side of the bed. Dad, wake up. What, Rachel, what? I want to touch the stars. Rachel, you cannot touch the stars. Now go back to bed. Okay. And this happened night after night after night. Good night, sleep tight, snug in your bed all night long. And then I'd love to touch the stars. I'd love to touch the stars. Love to, love to, love to touch the... Wake up! Wake up! What do you want, Rachel? I want to touch the star. Go back to bed! Now go back to bed! Went across the landing. But on this night, in the middle of the summer, the window was open right there, and she could hear music. She could hear music. And there's no village nearby. Not in that direction. It's coming from out there. Wow. Who could be playing that music? Wow. So on this night, Rachel did not go back to bed. She crept down the steps, went through the kitchen and out the back door, and by the apple tree, and opened the back gate, and went to the top of the hill. And she looked down at the pond. It was a still night, and the water was quiet. and the stars were reflecting on the pond. Rachel had never seen that before, and it looked like there were stars dancing on the water. She ran down the hill. She ran down the hill to the pond, and the pond spoke. "What are you doing out here, little girl?" "I'm not a little girl. I'm Rachel. I want to touch the stars." "Oh, you're in luck. Can you see the stars on me?" "Yes, I see them." "Right. So, just splash around, splash around. You'll feel the stars. You'll have the stars on your hands. You'll just see the stardust. Oh, yes. Go on, splash and splash." So she did. Splash and swoosh and splash and swoosh. And she climbed down and she looked at her hands. Any stardust? No. Just wet hands. "Well, thank you, pond, but no stars." Oh, look. Looks like there's stars there in the stream going across the rocks. Oh, it's glistening. Look at those stars. And the stream said, "Oh, yes, you'll touch the stars. Just reach in, reach in." She reached in, she moved rocks around, she splashed in that stream, then she looked at her hands. No stardust. "Well, thank you, stream. I guess I better go." Oh, I hear the music. It's over that hill where the tall grass is. She went over the hill and, whoa. There are fairies and leprechauns dancing, playing music and dancing. "Whoa! A fairy party," she said. They all stopped. A fairy came up and said, "What are you doing here?" And she looked down and said, "Well, I don't know. I'm just here." "You are not supposed to see the fairies. People do not see fairies." "I know, I didn't mean to see you, but I see you. I'm so excited. I love fairies, and I never thought I'd ever see one in my whole life, and now I see a lot of you. You are just as wonderful as I hoped you are. Oh, fairies, this is so great." "What are you doing here?" "Well, I want to touch the stars." "Oh, well, can you see over there? See how that tall grass? See how the stars are glistening in the tall grass? Well, here, you can dance with us. And you swirl around, and oh yes, you'll touch the stars. Let's dance." So they started dancing. They're swirling and twirling and swirling around. Some of the fairies, of course, were flying in their dancing. Rachel couldn't fly, but she had great time dancing on the ground. She is spinning and spinning and jumping and leaping and doing all kinds. Oh, she was having fun. But then she stopped and looked at her hands and... was there any stardust? No. "Oh, what's wrong?" said the fairies. "Well, I love dancing with you, thank you very much, but I didn't touch the stars. And I guess I better go home, because I don't know what to do." "Well, you can go home," said one of the fairies, "or you can keep going. But I don't know where to go or what to do." "Oh, that's easy. You just solve the riddle." "Solve the riddle?" "Yeah, that's all you have to do, solve the riddle." "Solve the riddle? What riddle?" "This riddle. Take 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all to the stairs without the steps." "What?" "I told you. Take 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all to the stairs without the steps." "What?" "I told you. Take 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all to the stairs without the steps." "What is that?" "That's a riddle. That's the way riddles work. You can't understand them until you understand them. And then when you understand them, you understand them, and you know what it's all about. So that's what you do. Figure out the riddle, and you will touch the stars." "The riddle? Could you say it again?" "Sure. Take 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all to the stairs without the steps." Well, that's too fast for me. Okay, you learn the riddle. You say it after me. Take 4 legs to 2 legs. To no legs at all. To the stairs without the steps. Right. So say it over and over again, and you'll figure it out. Now start walking. And so Rachel started walking and sang the riddle. Take 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all to the stairs without the steps. Take 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all to the stairs without the steps. That still doesn't make any sense. 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all to the stairs without the steps. Well, I'm all the way across the field and what? What's this horse doing here? A beautiful black stallion. We don't have any horses. Wait. Hey, horse. Could I ride on your back? And the horse said, "Nay, I work for the fairies. Nay." Well, the fairies told me take 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all to the stairs without the steps. Oh, they told you that? Well, in that case, of course you can ride. Now, hop on. I'm going to go through the forest, so you better hold on tight, because I do not have a saddle. You just hold on to my mane. And here we go. Are you ready, Rachel? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Go, horse. Giddy up. Giddy up. And the horse took off. Whoa. Hey, careful, horse. Careful. Whoa, horse. Slow it down a little bit. Whoa, horse. Okay, giddy up. Giddy up. I mean, whoa. Whoa. Okay, giddy up. No, whoa. The horse kept going. Finally got through the other side of the forest. Wow. Well, thank you, horse. And the horse started to walk away, and Rachel looked at them. Wait a minute. Look at that horse. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 legs. Take 4 legs. That's part of the riddle. Okay, let's remember the riddle. Take 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all. Take 4 legs, I did that, the horse, to 2 legs. Okay, 2 legs. What has 2 legs? Let's see, what has 2 legs? What has 2 legs? What has 2 legs? What has 2 legs? 2 legs, 2 legs, 2 legs. Whoa! I have 2 legs. It's me. I have 2 legs. Take my legs. Okay, I'll start running. Okay, I took 4 legs, that's horse. 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all. Okay, so I'm running and I have to find something with no legs at all. No legs at all. Maybe a snake. I wonder if there's a snake around here. And she ran all the way to the sea. And a big fish came out of the water. No legs at all. Oh, fish, can I ride on your back? And the fish said, no, I work for the fairies. The fairies told me take 4 legs to 2 legs to no legs at all to the stairs without the steps. I took a horse with 4 legs. I have 2 legs. And fish, oh great fish, you have no legs at all. You're right, said the fish. You can ride on my back. But I hope you can hold your breath, because I swim underwater. Okay, I'll try. So Rachel climbed onto the fish, and the fish went under. Here we go. Came up, take a breath, and back under, let's go. Came back up, take another breath, let's go. And came up, and the fish was right next to a big rock. And Rachel stepped onto the rock. Wow, look at that. A curve of colors. A rainbow. And a rainbow is like a stairs without the steps, because it goes up like stairs, but it doesn't have the steps. Oh, I am glad I'm a good climber. Okay, stars, here I come. And she started climbing. up the rainbow. And it was tricky, and it got brighter and colder, and she went higher and higher, and she got to the very top, and she stood up on top of the rainbow, and she reached her hands up into the sky, and she fell! Whoa! And she opened her eyes, and oh, she was on the floor, right next to her bed. That's unbelievable. I guess I just dreamed that whole thing and I fell out of the bed. That is wild. And then she looked at her hands, and they were sparkling with stardust. Oh. And that's the story of Rachel in the Stars.